y'all, what's up? Welcome back to the Herb Lady. I hope this video finds everybody well and in good health, because we all know we got a whole lot of shit that's already going on in the world. And for y'all that watch the news, I'm pretty sure you guys know what's up. For you guys that don't watch the news, trust and believe you're not really missing out on anything except a whole bunch of bad news and, partiality. Alright, so I'm so excited to be doing the Scorpio video because, Scorpio is my sign. I'm Scorpio. Hey, what's up? Okay, so, because I am the herb lady and I love to talk about herbs and herbs is my passion, we are going to start off this video. We're going to kind of jump straight into it. We're going to talk about two of my more favorite herbs, frankincense and myrrh. In the Virgo and Libra video, I did go over frankincense and myrrh. With Virgo, I probably did it a little bit more extensively. But like I said in the last two videos, frankincense and myrrh is so awesome for depression and anxiety. Both of them are incredible plants. They do incredible things for the body on their own without the spiritual or esoteric uses behind them. And depression and anxiety, being that those two really are spiritually, they're spiritual sicknesses as well as physical sicknesses. So I did take some notes because I did some additional research in regards to frankincense and myrrh, and just to give you guys a wider perspective of how versatile these herbs are. Frankincense and myrrh, as you know, they come in many different forms, and which I will show you guys in a minute because I have a couple of different forms of frankincense and myrrh on hand. But for any of you guys who are in Christianity or know the stories from Christianity, frankincense and myrrh were some of the herbs that were given as gift during Jesus Christ's birth by the three wise men, or magi's as I like to call them. They are usually sustained and harvested in dry climates, mostly seen from the Middle East and North Africa. They're very much used in places like Saudi Arabia, Ethiopia, Somalia, Yemen, places like that, North Africa, Northeast Africa, and the Middle East. Now, myrrh is extracted. They're both plants. They're both like the kind of like the sap that comes out of trees. And myrrh is extracted from a tree that's called a Camephora mucol tree. It has a typically medicinal aroma when extracted. So I guess like kind of like maple, they go ahead and they kind of open up the tree, and then they let the sap of the tree fall out, and then they let that sap dry, and that's where you get your myrrh and frankincense resins from. Myrrh has a lot of uses on its own, just like frankincense does. So myrrh has an antiseptic, antifungal. It's used for antiseptic, which is your kind of like when you have a cut and you put Neosporin on the cut. Myrrh kind of works the same way that Neosporin does, except Neosporin is more of a concentrated. It's a concentrated, chemically altered medicinal way of treating a cut. So it's also an antifungal, an antidepressant, antimicrobial. Microbes are all of those small bacteria that can easily slip into the body and just wreak havoc. It's an expectorant, which kind of, expectorants are what they're stimulants. When you take them, they help you to vomit. So if you have ate something, or something bad is sitting on your stomach and you need to throw up, that's what an expectorant does. Stimulant, stimulants are great to an extent for people who deal with depression and deal with things that deal with diseases both physical and mental, that keep them in a slowed space, a space where it is kind of hard to get up and go, so to speak. And that's the simplest way of putting it that I can think of right off the top of my head. Um, on a spiritual level, it works as a stimulant for spiritual opening and stimulating thoughts. So if you're trying to do some things like astral projection, or you need to kind of open up your creative senses in order to get into a place where you can kind of creatively really get into that vibe, myrrh is a great myrrh is great to burn. It's so great to burn for that. Now, keeping in mind with myrrh, because myrrh is a resin that I see more often being sold on a solo from frankincense. So I see myrrh, like usually with frankincense, I see it in combination with myrrh, but with myrrh, I've seen it very often solo on its own, being just sold as sweet myrrh or myrrh on its own. With myrrh, I will like, because myrrh is kind of the one that counters depression because it's stimulant. Now, if you are a person who is mostly battling anxiety, anxiety, kind of that nervous energy where you're constantly thinking, constantly in your head, constantly having thoughts, and you're trying to slow your mind down, myrrh is really not the one that I would recommend that you burn on the regular basis. It's still great to burn, especially to lift those heavier spirits and heavier energies out of your house. It's great for that. But frankincense is the one that I would recommend if you are dealing with anxiety, and vice versa. Myrrh is great for when you're dealing with depression, if you're trying to lift those heavy depressive energies and spirits up out of your house, because depression is a spirit, depression is an energy, and it's very heavy. It is a heavy weight that keeps you in the past and keeps you focused on the past. So always remember, with depression, it should be treated very seriously, because it is something that if it keeps you bogged down heavy enough, many people, as we know, have taken their lives behind the struggle with depression. So keep that in mind. Now, with frankincense has a lot of great uses as well. Frankincense is also an antiseptic, a disinfectant, and astringent, and a diuretic and sedative. So sedative means, it kind of helps it kind of helps with sleep, insomnia. If you got that high energy and you kind of need to come down from it, once again, anxiety, that high nervous energy, and you need to calm down, it is a soothing for people who deal with anxiety. Now, I'm not a doctor. I am not telling you to use this, to go out and go buy this and use this for medicinal uses, for all these uses that I just listed. I'm just saying that this aids in this is good for these uses. These are the things that were used back when and before we had modern medical science. And I would always say, before you go ahead and do anything, always consult with your doctor, consult with a qualified healer, a herbalist, experts who can definitely point you in the right direction. I talk about this because this is my passion, and just to be a source of topic and a source of conversation for expanding the things that we talk about and communicate about amongst each other. So, and with frankincense, once again, it goes back to that, frankincense helps with that anxiety, and myrrh helps with the depression, which why when they're used in combination with each other, frankincense and myrrh lifts the spirits, lifts that energy of anxiety and depression off of the environment, and thus off of you. It helps to stimulate your process in order for you to lift it up off of yourself, because anything done outside of ourselves is always a catalyst for that which we start to do within ourselves, right? Okay, so also, frankincense is a strong solar herb, which means, depending on your belief systems or the deities, gods, or spirits that you worship, um, any of those gods that embody that depict the sun as their image or embody the sun as their energy. Frankincense is always used as great for offerings to those gods or deities. Now, frankincense and myrrh, you can use it as an incense, which I have an incense stick right here, which I'm going to burn shortly, or you can burn it as a resin. Now, it's gonna be kind of hard to see because this bag is a little bit cloudy. As you can see, I use my resin quite a bit. This is the frankincense and myrrh resin, and as you can see, it kind of has like almost like a rock like appearance in the bag. The yellow is the frankincense, whereas the darker pieces are the myrrh. Now, this is sweet myrrh. I'm gonna take it out the bag in a moment so you guys can see. But so I am in Minnesota, and for anybody who is in Minnesota that watches my channel, especially if you live in near the Twin Cities, I usually get a lot of my smudging supplies from a place called Rituals. Is located at the the World Market. So they're really awesome. It's a black owned business, a mother and daughter who works the shop, and I mean they're dedicated to their work. They make great shea butters, which is all that I use on my skin. They make awesome twist oil that I use in my hair, and then of course their resins and everything is, organically sustained and cropped. So you know your stuff is coming from a good place. Now this is myrrh. This is what myrrh looks like. So as you can see, it literally looks like a rock, and it's quite hard to the touch. It's not something that's easily bent or broken. I usually kind of like take a hammer and smash it into finer pieces when I'm about to go ahead and smudge, so that way it can burn more evenly when I am smudging the house. And usually when you go ahead and smudge, you want to make sure that you do it safely in a fireproof container or in a fireproof, dish. However, as long as it's fireproof. I usually get the quick charcoal, which I didn't take out to show. Hopefully I'll have it out for the next video. It's their small little disc, small black charcoal disc. You can buy a whole sleeve of them for like $3, and I usually get them from Rituals as well. Now these they're kind of like mini cauldrons. You can get them from any metaphysical shop, or kind of like anywhere. You can order them on Amazon. I have a really big one that I ordered on Amazon for like $50, but this is my little small one when I'm going around the house just to do like a regular smudge. These will probably run you like maybe 12, 13, somewhere around $13 to $18 for a small one. They're really sturdy, really heavy. I'm sure you can hear it knocking on the table because they do weigh a lot. They're fireproof. You can put your quick start charcoal in them, light up your charcoal. Once your charcoal gets nice and hot, then that's when you want to go ahead and put your resins on top of the charcoal so that the resins can burn down evenly. So sorry guys, I had to take a second. My allergies are literally kicking my butt. It's allergy season out here. We got trees are already turning. It's not even fully September yet, but it is what it is. So jumping back into it, where I left off was getting into the crystals. Now I do have 2 featured crystals because right now I'm kind of focusing on root chakra energy, and I don't know if you guys can hear it in my background, but I have root chakra hang drums playing in the background, and that is featured on Meditative Mind, which is a YouTube channel that has all types of awesome meditation music for you to listen to. Anything that you could think of, they probably have it. And they have a lot of features on chakra healing and hertz healing, depending on what hertz you're trying to listen to. Remember, different frequencies out here have different healing abilities to them. So whatever it is that you are trying to focus in on, meditative mind more than likely has it. And no, this is not an advertisement for a meditative mind. It's just a channel that I really like to listen to because they do awesome work for people like me who need it. So going into these crystals now, so for root chakra energy, you know, certain crystals help with certain energies, and since my focus right now for the month of September is that root chakra, I'm focusing on crystals that help with root chakra. One of the crystals that I have is called goethite. It's part of the limonite family. It This one that I have originates from Durango, Mexico, but of course I bought it in a crystal shop here in Minnesota. So I'm just gonna try to get it close enough so you guys can see. Hopefully my camera will focus in on it, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And I'll probably like take a picture of it and put it on my Instagram so you guys can just really see the full impact of this crystal. This is great for putting on yourself, like even putting it towards your root chakra, and which is, you know, really at the base of your spine. So what I would do is like you could put it on your pelvis, or if you want to lay on your stomach, really like put it kind of right there at the base of your spine so that it's touching on that root chakra area. Another great stone that I have is jasper, and this is probably going to catch my ring light, which is okay. But this jasper that I have is pretty big. It's polished on one side, as you can see, and then it's raw on the other side. So jasper is great for root chakra healing, putting on you or putting next to you, or simply just holding it in your hand and trying to do your root chakra meditation too. And as you can see, I'm kind of feeling very root chakra-ish because I got my root chakra colored dress on. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and light this incense. We're gonna get into your reading, Scorpio, and ain't nothing to it but to get to it, right? Let me go ahead and put these crystals down gingerly because I don't, you know, you gotta take care of your crystals. You take care of your crystals will take care of you. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and get this incense lit. And I know just the other day I was literally talking about the weather and how hot it was outside. Literally being in Minnesota, it's 70 degrees outside right now, which I'm not complaining because I love 70 degrees. But, you know, we're already kind of going into our decline for fall and winter. Granted, I know we're going into fall, but dang, I wish we had a little bit more time for summer. This feels like it was the shortest summer ever, seriously. Alright. Alright, you guys. So, like I explained to Virgo and Libra during their readings, is I do my readings a little bit differently. This is going to be your September general. We're just going to cover the general energies surrounding September and what could be expected for the month of September. I have two other type of readings that I will be coming out with later on in the month of September. One is a general love reading for each sign, and the other one is called a planetary reading. So with these planetary readings, basically what I do is I pull a card for the energy of the first house for each sun sign. So like let's say you're a Virgo sun, because you know it's Virgo season. Virgo sun, and you have an Aries in your Aries first house. So that's how I do. I'm gonna do a planetary reading for Virgo sun, Aries first house, Taurus first house, so on and so forth, until we get to Pisces first house. I only feature the first house energy because really this is a sample of my actual planetary reading, my planetary reading spread. So it's like I have a spread on planetary readings where I pull a card for each planet, I pull a card for each house, and then we kind of talk in depth about what's going on in each planet, the energy that's going on in that planet, the energy that's going on in that house, how we can expand that energy, or how we can heal that energy. So, because not all energy is bad energy, and not all energy is good energy either. All right, so let's get into your reading. We're going to kind of start off with the encouraging message here, and to help Scorpio get through September, get through Virgo season, and part of Libra season. So my cards are already shuffled and prayed over. I pre-shuffle and I pray over my cards before I start my video so we can jump right into the reading. All right. I need one card for Scorpio. So this card is just kind of a message of encouragement for Scorpio. For the message that we all need, a message of encouragement, especially trying to get through these times, which I know have been trying for a lot of us. So this card says, the universe works fast when I am having fun. So Scorpio, it sounds like you kind of need to lighten up your energy a little bit. Sounds like there's been a lot of these serious energies around you, and it sounds like it's been a lot of work, or stress about work, stress about finance, stress about where the next check is coming from, and not really taking the time out to do that which you enjoy. Because, the universe responds to those frequencies of joy and fun too, and they respond usually to those more positive frequencies much quicker than they respond to the negative frequencies, because they got to sift through all of it. It's more work. So that is a word in and of itself. The universe works fast when I'm having fun. And it's like, even in what you are doing, if the work that you're doing is not fun for you or not appealing for you, especially if it's the work that you started for yourself, you have to kind of think of, how can I breathe how can I put a new perspective and breathe fresh life into my work that I'm doing. And I'm not typically talking about secular work. Secular work is our job. Your job is your job. If that pays the bills, it keeps the food on the table, that's what you got to do. But the work on yourself, the work outside of you, your hobbies, your passions, and it's like, I know a lot of my followers so far, and future followers, will probably be a lot of workers and healers themselves. And when you are doing your work, your own personal work, as well as your healing work, sometimes you can get so wrapped up in the work of it, doing the work of it, that you forget the joy of it. You forget why you started it. You forget why you got into it, and you forget the joy that you derive from it to begin with. So sometimes it's like, yeah, step back, kind of breathe kind of put that fresh breath into your work once again. All right, so the next deck that I'm gonna pull from is called my Soulful Woman deck. And once again, like I said, in Libra and Virgo, even if you are a person out here who identifies as male, remember, at the end of the day, male or female, non-binary, and everything in between, we are human. We all share the human element and human factor. And the factor that is part of human is masculine and feminine. Masculine and feminine resides in every single one of us, regardless of how we identify gender-wise. So, which is why I pull Soulful Woman, because the points in Soulful Woman applies whether you're a male or female. It applies because I feel like a lot of the stuff that is spoken on, the struggles of female, the encouraging messages of female, are often messages that males need to hear as well. And sometimes we see the trend of toxic masculinity simply because the masculine is not being fed healing messages of the feminine as well. Too much masculine, not enough feminine, out of balance, your yin and your yang is out of whack. And I'm going to just leave it at that. Alright, so I'm going to pull 2 cards from this deck, and then we're going to kind of go into detail on what these cards mean. Then, of course, the whole deck is trying to fall out of my hand. So, this deck really wants to talk to you, Scorpio. Messages for Scorpio. I need 2 cards for Scorpio. I need 2 cards for Scorpio. Alright. I need 1 more card for Scorpio. I need 1 more card for Scorpio. 1 card for Scorpio. 1 card for Scorpio. Alright. Sorry. Alright, you guys. So, first card that popped out is called Soul's Journey. This card says, living from soul opens me to the magic that exists when I surrender to divine manifestation on its own terms and timing. The second card says, dream seeds. I nurture my dream seeds with love and appreciation and allow them to unfold in their own time. I'm going to show you the card for Soul's Journey here. And I'm sorry, my ring light kind of is catching. But the first thing I noticed is the moon cycle in her background. Especially if we're talking about your manifestation work. You always want to make sure that your manifestation work is aligned with the moon cycles. I mean, it's not absolutely required, but it helps. And as you can see with her, there's so much crown and third eye chakra activation here. And this is dream seeds. So, I feel like these 2 cards tie very well in with the universe works fast when I'm having fun. Because ultimately, we all signed a contract for our soul's mission before we even got here. We all signed up to be here. Every last one of us. Knowingly or unknowingly. And some of us get the gist of what we signed up for much faster than others do when we're here in the physical. And in our soul's journey, especially if it's talking about living from soul, it goes back to listening to soul, exploring the concept of our souls, exploring our soul's meaning. What does our soul want? What is our soul ultimately trying to manifest? What was our soul's purpose for even coming here in the first place? So when we first start to listen, then we can start having conversations with souls. Then we can start giving positive feedback to soul. Then we can start having fun in the journey with soul, because now it's been established what steps we are taking, why we are here, what our purpose is for being here. And then, with dream seeds, it's like when you listen to soul's telling you, look, this is kind of the contract that you signed coming here. These are the things that you signed up for. These are the lessons that you wanted to learn coming here. These are the karmic debts that you wanted to alleviate in coming here. And in that process, that we got that guideline as to what we're working with while we're here. And we, can work within that guideline, but we also got so much room to take that guideline and work it on a much broader spectrum than we ever imagined. And that's where dream seeds come into. It says, I nurture my dream seeds with love and appreciation and allow them to unfold in their own time. So it's literally the attitude of gratitude. Being grateful for having a dream, being grateful for having a soul contract, being grateful for having the ability to manifest, because so many people out here are still asleep. They're still blind to the process. They still can't even fathom what the fuck it means to manifest their best life. They feel like the life they've been given is the life that they're supposed to have and be stuck with. Or you have ones who manifest great amounts of money for themselves, who have those divine powers and are not even in tune with it at all. So, dream seeds and soul journeys and universe working when you have fun, I feel like that is an awesome message for Scorpio. I know like that kind of hit on a whole nother level for me, because especially with doing the soul contract work and getting back into a place of dreams. It's like, I know personally for myself, I have a lot of dreams, and spirit often communicates with me through dreams, and I have vivid dreams. And a lot of the time in those moments with dreams, it's like I can't fully make sense of it in that very moment, but then something happens at some point and it all comes together, and it's like, oh, that's why that dream happened. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into the tarot portion of your reading here. And what I do is I pull 6 cards. This deck here, I don't think I told Virgo or Libra this deck, but this is the deck that I use. As you can see, it's been very well used over the years. It is called the Mythic Tarot deck. This deck is awesome. Like, awesome, awesome, awesome. The book in and of itself was just like so deep, so like, wow. The book and the meanings of the card, how they depict the meanings, and I've read a lot of tarot books, a lot of tarot meanings, internet, book. I've read 78 Degrees of Tarot, a lot of books on it, and it's just like, this book will always be a book that I keep in my arsenal because it's so great for referencing. It has so much wisdom. Of course, it's like based on the Greek pantheon of gods, which is awesome, and it's like, if that's something you believe, even more awesome. But I just felt like I learned a lot through reading on this deck in the book. So I'm gonna pull 6 cards. I need 6 cards for Scorpio. I need 6 cards for Scorpio. 6 cards for Scorpio. Alright. Okay. Alright. Alright, Scorpio. So I'm seeing some pretty awesome energy here. You guys have a nice balance right now. I don't really see I don't see Pentacle cards at all, but I do see the Emperor here. He's kind of the first one that really popped out at me. The Emperor is that Aries energy. It is that boss energy. It's the energy that says, I'm going to take control over my own life, and I'm going to do this thing for myself, because nobody else can do this for me like me. So starting off, you guys have the Knight of Swords, and as you can see in this card, it's the twins, depicted as Gemini. This is major Gemini energy. So either you are dealing with a Gemini, or you are experiencing some Gemini energy taking place in your life. So as we know with Gemini is another mutable air sign. It's a sign that's about duality of thought. Gemini it's like that. It's definitely because it's a knight and he wants to move very quickly. So the Knight of Swords, he's a knight, he's young. This tells me that this is either a mental process that is taking place while you are in your 20s, maybe early 30s. It's still not quite fully mature in its mental workings, and it's a very chatty energy. So either what's going on is that you guys are experiencing a lot of gossip and immature talking, somebody talking about you on an immature level, um, by people who just are not mature in their train of thought. But given the fact that this card is in the upright, it tells me that it's not necessarily a whole lot of gossip. It's coming off as gossip because it's coming from a person who likes to run their mouth a lot, but they're not really gossiping about you. They're really telling people a lot about you and your what you are doing, what you're up to. And I know with us being Scorpio, we are very private. We like to keep our shit to ourselves, and we don't appreciate when people talk about us, whether they're talking good about us or bad about us. It's just, leave us, let us do our thing in private. So you're probably experiencing somebody who means well for you, and they're that very cerebral energy, and they like to just talk a lot, a lot, a lot. So, but also what I'm seeing here is Page of Cups. So either what I'm seeing is that you guys are dealing within yourself, kind of like an emotional process where you're trying to mature into yourselves. You're trying to like mature into yourselves, or you're dealing with a child, a water sign child, who is kind of having some trouble with their own emotions. Now, with Page of Cups, Page is always message. So you're either gonna get a message from this very chatty Knight of Swords individual who likes to talk a lot, or you are gonna get, your emotions are going to let you know about a situation where there's just kind of too much communication that's going on for your comfort. Now, remember with Page of Cups, with this card I'm going to show you, Page of Cups is kind of once again the story of Narcissus, a boy so beautiful. This boy was so beautiful that he literally, his parents never showed him his own image. So he was walking in the forest, happened to stumble upon a lake with water that was as clear as a mirror. It was like looking into a mirror at his own reflection. He stumbled upon his reflection in the lake. Having never seen his own reflection, he was so enamored by his own reflection, literally staring at it, for he lost all sight of his whole environment, and he literally drowned in the lake from looking at his own reflection. So you guys, if you guys are in a state where you're very much caught up in your emotions from all of this chit chat going on around you, don't get so deep in your emotions that you forget that you are literally the boss of your own environment. You literally have this emperor energy at your side right now. Don't forget that you got that energy working for you, that you drown and get caught up in your negative emotions surrounding what other people have to say about what you're doing, because what you're doing is your fucking business. It's none of their business. Like, unless they paying your bills, and even if they are paying your bills, I don't give a damn. What you do is on you. That is you. Only you control this domain, Scorpio. Okay. So what I'm also seeing is that you guys have a choice here. Two of Wands is coming up. So what I'm seeing is that you guys are kind of like caught in between. There is a choice to be made right now. And what Wands signifying is kind of like, it's definitely saying that you're gonna have to move. There's gonna be some movement involved. Now, I'm not sure if this is movement on a physical level or a spiritual movement, but either way, expect that you gotta make a choice between a physical move, whether that be moving with a person, place, or thing to a new environment, staying where you are, or spiritually moving up out of a set of beliefs into another set, or choosing a path that is most conducive and effective for you spiritually. All right. So now I do want to say, keep in mind this choice that you make, because the choice could possibly lead to a place where you're dealing with some kind of stagnation of your passions, where you're seeing your passions kind of take a lull a little bit. So you want to be especially careful which direction that you take that choice in. It's not going to be a permanent lull, especially because the Emperor is here. The Emperor kind of comes and snaps you back into that boss energy, where you kind of get reminded of who you are and what the fuck you're doing and why you're doing it. Because as you can see, even though Ace of Wands is in the reverse, the Emperor is right here in Ace of Wands in the reverse. So the Emperor is kind of like, he's knocked off his square a little bit, but he bounces right back in full spectrum with the hawk behind him or the falcon behind him. Either way, these are birds with very sharp vision and sharp insight. They can see their prey all the way from multiple feet in the air. So it's like the Emperor, he's coming right back with full 360 view with very good insight and very good vision. So you might make a choice that might knock you off your square a little bit, but the bounce back is going to be really quick, and it's going to be a bounce back. Like, you're going to be way up on your throne and way up in your boss energy and kind of just looking at everything for what it is. As we know, Scorpio, we're very intuitive people who can usually see through to the root of the issue and to the root of people's true intentions. Now, when you are an Emperor energy, remember that you are dealing with light side of Mars, masculine energy in Mars, and right now Mars is in Aries. So use that energy of Mars being in Aries to help you with that boost of coming back into yourself, and using that energy to really assert yourself in the things that you need, asserting yourself in the arena of, it could be your job, it could be your home, it could be your spirituality. It's like you can harvest Mars energy in order to spiritually propel you, so that you may manifest the things that you have really been needing and not quite having had the energy to manifest. So ultimately, we end up at the star Aquarius energy right here. So you either got an Aquarius that's coming towards you, or you just kind of got that overall healing energy that's coming in as a result of you kind of taking your life, taking the reins of your life into your own hands. You really do get to relish in that deep healing energy. The star the star shines even in the darkest of nights. You still see the stars shining high up in the sky, and the galaxy. Hell, even Mars shines. I literally, like clockwork, almost every night when I get up at like 4 or 5 in the morning, I could see the planet Mars shining right outside of my window. Mars is a whole planet, but I still see those stars, the surrounding stars, shining around Mars. So it's like the star is the energy of the light that shines even in the darkest of nights. So it's like right now the world seems like it's burning down around us, but the star, you being the star, you shine bright in the night. You shine bright in the darkness. So definitely, Scorpio, I would say it's like, tap into your inner child, tap into your inner spirit and well-being. Go back and remember what those soul contracts are that you signed before you came here. Going back into the soul journey, aligning yourself with your soul journey so that you can come into that Emperor energy and really bounce back big time, so that you're in a space of healing, so that you're in a space of coming back into yourself, and you are able to fulfill your truest purpose in a world where, seemingly every day people have a harder and harder time trying to figure it out. So that's kind of your tarot portion, Scorpio. I'm gonna go ahead and pull one card from, it's not exactly a tarot deck, but it still is a deck. It's an awesome deck too. It's called Black History Flashcards, and this is the volume 2 deck, and it's on women. It talks about prominent black women in history who have done really awesome things for the world and for their black communities. And it's sold by urbanintellectuals.com. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to just pull one card, And the person whose card that I pull is kind of that energy that Scorpio needs to embody for the month of September. Not exactly the energy of the person per se, but the energy of the deeds that the person may have done. So if this person is a prominent writer, if they intellectually influence their community, that may be something that Scorpio could take away. Or let's say, through their acts of kindness or through their acts of, you know, we're gonna see. Let's just see. Because one card popped out literally as I'm running my mouth. So the person that we pulled out is Tetu Betul. Now, hopefully, I'm pronouncing her name right. But, I don't know anything about Tetu Betul, so we both gonna learn about this together. She was the Empress of Ethiopia and wife of Menelik II. Y'all, come on, your Empress energy, divine feminine energy, and stepping into the power of the Emperor, boss energy, you guys. The Emperor and Empress, and this is Zeus. According to the Greek pantheon, nobody ruled above Zeus. Nobody was above Zeus. Zeus was the god of gods. Zeus was the king of kings. Zeus was the emperor of emperors. There was nobody above Zeus. And in your world, literally at this point, there can be nobody above you except for your spiritual family and God. But in this physical realm, there is nobody above you. You are the boss of your life, period. Now, going back to Tetu, she was educated and spoke more than one language, which was rare for women of her time. Co-equal with the emperor, who always consulted her prior to making important decisions. So, it's always a great example to learn from, especially for my divine feminine Scorpios. Just remember that it's like, if you are dealing with a situation or a relationship where you are not being treated as the equal that you are, and you are seeing people who mean a lot to you literally going ahead and making executive decisions in regards to your well-being and your family's well-being without consulting with you, you must really take time to consider whether that is a healthy situation and arrangement for you. She was a military strategist who persuaded her husband to declare war against Italy at the Battle of Adwa as a way to stand up for liberty against Italian aggression. She bravely commanded both men and women on the battlefield and fought on the front line to bring her country to victory. This woman was a warrior, so, she was not afraid to stand up and fight for herself, for her country. She was not afraid to stand up and voice her opinions and her thoughts and her beliefs to really show the true power of who she was. Now, I don't know if you guys follow my Instagram, but if you do, often I like to post a post that says shine so fucking bright that it makes their eyes hurt. This woman, that's exactly what she did. She would shine like the star, unapologetically. She would shine no matter what, shining so bright that it made their fucking eyes hurt, especially Italian aggressors. Because I don't know if you guys know any of the history with Ethiopia, kind of Somalia, all those areas, and their history with Italy, where English colonialism was going on with the English and the Dutch and West Africa, South Africa. Italy was trying to colonize Ethiopia. Italy had basically, and I believe it was around the time of like the 30s or 40s, that's when Ethiopia had rose up against Italy to kind of take their independence back. But Ethiopia had already been doing that for a couple of decades prior to actually being granted their independence from Italy. So she governed Ethiopia as the emperor suffered a stroke. She governed Ethiopia after the emperor suffered a stroke and was no longer able to rule. So she knew her divine place in this world. And it's like, to me, I always say that as a woman, even if you are married and regardless of if, it's like a lot of people quick to say, the wife follows her husband is the head. No, you guys are equals. The same way that masculine and feminine is equal, masculine and feminine is balanced. They both come together to create the force of life. They both come together to, literally become an act of will on life, and it's a balanced will. One does not overrule the other. One does not overpower the other. One does not overshadow the other. Both are used in equal parts. And she and her husband both did that. They came together to rule a country. And when her husband could no longer rule, she came through and stepped into her power fully, knowing it, and didn't even have to really step into it because her power was already established. And as we know, in patriarchal society, it was quite rare, especially back then, to see a couple co-rule rather than just the male being full power and full reign, and his wife literally just being a figurehead and a just there to look pretty at his side. So, she definitely wasn't one of those women where it was like, I'm here to be arm candy. I'm here to rule a whole fucking country with you. Period. And it's like everybody likes to say Scorpio is about power. Well, yeah, we are about power, but not to that extreme, not to that extent where it's like we're power hungry. It's like we seek power in a place coming from righteousness. If we see that stuff isn't done right, or we see that it's not being done fairly or justly, yeah, we're going to step in and try to take that position and be in a position of power and have it be done. Now, granted, I'm not speaking for shadow-sided Scorpios, because we all know we got a couple of those out there too. But anyway, this was you guys' reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have a safe and happy September as we transition into fall. I know for some of you guys it's the favorite time of the year. We only got one more season in front of us after Virgo season until we get to our most coveted and favorite season, which is Scorpio season. Anyway, Scorpios, love, peace, and blessings. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Ashe.